Hello everyone, welcome back. Alrighty, on this video, I just want to talk to you about the goals and the expectation I have of this project, this boat project. We're going to cover more of this in depth, but I just want to do the 10,000 foot overview of what's going on with this project. So the first thing that's the most important goal for me is that I'm traveling down the river at cruise speed at 5 miles an hour. So basically, when I look at my GPS, I want to see speed over land at least a 5 miles an hour. I'm guessing it might be faster. That's all icing on the cake. But that's one of my goals that I'm shooting for. And the other goal that I have is that I at least travel 30 miles a day. 30 miles a day at 5 knots. Well, the way I come up with 30 miles is pretty simple. I'm thinking after I travel 30 miles, I might be tired. Now you all might have to, you boat people that live on the boats, might have to enlighten me on that. I do not know if traveling for 5 or 6 hours on a boat is just as exhausting as driving a car. Please let me know in the comments down below, but for all I know, sitting in the boat, which I'm thinking so, but I have to be realistic because I don't know, is that sitting in the captain's chair from sun up to sundown might not be that difficult. So I really don't know. But right now, I'm planning on traveling to 5 to 6 hours a day, at least 30 miles. So how am I planning on doing this? What am I going to do for power? So the main function, the reason that I believe this project can succeed now are the battery technologies that's available today. It's pretty new. It's only been around for about 5 years that the consumer has it. And they're called lithium ion phosphate batteries. Please do some research on that. Pretty much, well, a lot of the car manufacturers are now moving to that. The main reason, the main advantage of lithium ion phosphate is that they're safe. Now, there's no guarantee they won't catch on fire, but they pretty much won't catch on fire. And obviously that's pretty important because if a boat catches on fire, it's not like a car catching on fire where you open the door and you get out. The boat catches on fire, well, it'll sink to the middle of the river. And I would prefer that not to happen for obvious reasons. So I do believe that the lithium ion phosphate batteries are safe enough to put on the boat. There are also marine grades that are made to be put on boats. Another technology within the lithium ion phosphate, and I do want to cover that for a second here. We're going to cover it more in depth, and I'm going to give you links to go do some research to find out what I'm talking about. But there's a technology and there's companies that are putting out what are called server rack batteries. Server rack batteries are really cool. So you computer people, it's exactly what you're thinking. It's a rack that you would put a server in, except instead of putting a server in, you put a battery rack in. So the battery is shaped just like a server. You get this battery pack and you slide it into the server rack. It's really, really cool. It's all modular, so you can continue to add, just like a server rack, you continually add battery packs to it. They're not like the 12 volts. These are 48 volt server racks, and we'll get more into that later. But they're 48 volts. I don't want to get into the benefits of 48 volts over 12 or 24, but the really good benefits that they're 48 volt server rack batteries. Please look them up or check the links below. When I figure out how to put them out there, I'll put them out there. But I'm going to share all that information. But the goal of my battery bank of server rack batteries is 100 kilowatts of storage. 100 kilowatt amp hours. So basically, to give you a concept of, for the non-battery people, and I'm learning as I go along, is that a car, an electric car, goes anywhere from 65 kilowatts to over 100 kilowatts, not including the Tesla Semi and stuff like that. But your average electric car has somewhere between 65 and 100 kilowatts. And yes, I know the there's a luxury car out there that has like 115 kilowatt amp hours of storage. So that's what my goal is 100 amp hours. Now, it really does depend on the type of motors I get, and I'm not even going to talk much about that because it really depends on the size of boat that I get. But I need to make sure that I size my electric motors for the size of boat, and then I'll need power to juice them. So that's where it comes down to the battery banks. I'll cover more about that. So then the question is, okay, you're going to run out of power. Well, I kind of look at it as you can run out of gasoline too. Yeah, but what if? I get that. So you can just pull up to a boat dock and fill up with your gas in your boat. Well, the funny part is you can pull up to a boat dock and plug my boat in and fill up my electric batteries. And that's one of the ways that I'm going to fill up my battery. So you pull into a boat dock to fill up your diesel and gas. I pull up and plug in. Most people that spend the night, and I'm going to do the Great Loop, I'll just throw that out here real quick, but that's one of the ways I plan on recharging the battery bank, is by plugging in at the end of the night. I think most people that do the loop stop at the end of the night in a marina. I'm just going to stop at a marina just like everybody else, but I'm going to plug in, and instead of just using the power to run my microwave or air conditioner, I'm going to charge my battery bank. And then I'll use my battery banks to run the utilities in the boat. The other and last part, way I'm going to charge the battery bank, is through solar. Now I know solar is not that efficient. I get that. I've calculated that in, so to speak. But with solar, I have a gas station in the sky all the time. If I go out fishing or if I go out camping and I drop anchor and I want to go fishing for a few days, God is filling up my boat right there. So the size of solar that my goal is 4 kilowatts of usable power. And again, these are just my goals and expectations. They might go less, they might go more. But 4 kilowatts of solar power, usable power. Now that doesn't mean that I have a 4 kilowatt solar array and I'm only getting 3 out of it. If I have to do a 5 or a 5500 watt solar array to get 4 kilowatts of energy from the array, that's what I'm going to do. I'm planning on 4 kilowatts of usable power. So I know you're doing the what ifs and stuff right there about the it's cloudy or something, and I get that. But let's cover the usable power from the solar. The solar industry says that in North America, we get about 6 hours of usable solar energy per day. So that's kind of also in my calculations because, again, if I'm getting on a clear day, yes, I understand that. On a clear day, I'm getting at least 4 kilowatts of power, and that's charging my battery bank, my 100 kilowatt battery bank. If I go out as I'm cruising, I'm getting that power back into the battery bank. And I do believe, now I'm getting the squirreling a little bit here, but I believe that I'm going to get a lot more than that because I'm not going to go cruising on a cloudy day if I need the range to get to the next marina. If the next marina is 15 miles away and that's where I want to stop, I'm off and running even on a rainy day. But again, with 100 kilowatts and depending on the battery power and the sun and stuff like that, 30 miles should be no problem at all. Okay, so that's my 10,000 foot idea on this project. Let's cover a little bit about why am I doing this project? What's the advantage of it? What's the goal? Well, my first goal is I want to do the Great Loop. I've not done the Great Loop. I love boats. I've been a boatsman since I was a teenager, and I've always owned a boat. But I've never done the Great Loop, so that's one of my goals. But the goal with the Great Loop is I want my wife and I to enjoy doing the Great Loop, enjoy boating. I don't want to schedule. I don't want to have to get to point A to point B in a certain amount of time. I want to be and enjoy boating, and I want to enjoy the loop. So we want to stop in different little towns and stay there. So we might go down to a town, plug in, hang out there for a few days, see the area, get back in the fully charged electric boat because I've been plugged into the boat dock, and go on down to the next town that we want to go to. It might take a week to get down to the town that we want to hang out with. Might have to plug in to charge up and go on down and then hang out at the place. But that's the whole point with this project, is I want my wife and I to enjoy the travel, to enjoy the boating, enjoy the river, enjoy seeing this country, this beautiful country of ours. Okay, so that's enough of my soapbox. That's my 10,000 foot view of this project. And I love you guys, and I'll talk to you on the next video.